right, welcome back to another Nerdthusiast Poker podcast. I'm your host, Ida Hoagie. Our main co-host, Brian Not the Man Keen, could not make it today, but as always, our trusty other sidekick, DJ Frank DeRay in the house.
Plan B.
He's our blog writer. If you've seen some of his posts, check him out on Nerdthusiast Poker. The blog, nerdthusiast.com. You can go over there, check that out, and see all his monthly articles. He puts out different poker articles. You can check it out. Yeah, man. So we just got, and this actually works out perfect that you're in here today because we just got back from New York.
Yeah, nice trip. It was fun. I didn't know what to expect. Never been up to that room. But pleasantly surprised.
We went up there for the World Series of Poker Circuit event, first time.
Verona.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, after everything I was on this past week, and I'm sure you've probably seen it as well in the Twitterverse or the Xverse or whatever the hell it's called now, with all the tournament champions thing. Like, I'm like almost like, dude, as much as I want to win a ring or bracelet and playing the tournament champions, I'm kind of glad that this wasn't the year that I won a ring.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see both sides to it. I think they could have been a little bit more prepared to do something not right near the series and all the way out west, but it's hard. I guess it's really hard to try to put it somewhere where it's in between. But
so if you're listening to this and if you're under living under a rock in the poker world, basically what happened was every year I'll even jump back further. It used to be every year for the people that won a ring. They would play in a Tournament of Champions event. It's kind of altered throughout the years, but the last few years, it's $1 million free roll. So first place is a couple $100,000, $150,000, for a free roll here. And then they kind of extended it. So if you win an online ring, if you win a bracelet, pretty much any kind of WSOP main hardware, you get an invite to this thing.
Right.
Okay. And generally speaking, between rings, bracelets, online events, there's about, I think, 800 these are given out. Some people obviously win multiple, right?
Duplicates, yeah.
But 800 people to play in a free $1 million free roll, like that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna, obviously, and I don't know as much as you do as far as where it's been over the past years because I haven't played as many circuit events as I know you've been on. Where have they had this at over the last few years?
It's jumped all over the place. I think the first one ever was actually in Atlantic City, I think. And then it was at one year it was in like Harrah's, New Orleans, and then it kind of the last few years it's been attached to the World Series of Poker. So like they had it at the end, I believe, or the beginning, one or the other, one year and the other year. They had it attached to the World Series because they figured all
people are going to be there. A lot of those people obviously are going to be out there.
Exactly.
So why not? Why make a special trip? Understood.
So I think what happened this year, one, they got the information out way too late.
Yeah, that I agree with. Absolutely.
That's the biggest problem here. They just announced it and they said, okay, we're having it at the LA WSOP Circuit event this year. It's going to be attached to that. And everyone's like, whoa, timeout. Like, first off, that's less than 2 months. And so I don't know WSOP if you're in the real world, but I don't know if you know how it works here. I'm going to explain it to you. If you have a job.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the average person, if they're not a professional poker player, we have other lives. I mean, we have a job. We take time off, families, I don't have kids. My son's older, but I mean, people with kids, etc. And for them to plan something that short of a notice, it can be very difficult. And why would they miss something that huge, especially when they won their way into it and it's a free roll? I mean,
so yeah, now you're causing some issues, family life issues, work issues. I mean, I'm going to say most jobs, like if you have a career, I'm not talking about like some part-time job. If you have a career, you got to give like 60 to 90 day notice, like for vacation time. Like if you're just a personal day, that's one thing usually. Yeah. But if you're putting in vacation time to go to LA,
especially, obviously East Coast, you have a lot of, you talk about the online events, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, all out here. That's not a 1 day thing where, like, listen, if it was in Atlantic City for us, it's easy because we're on the East Coast. But you have a lot of people that won these online events that have to go all the way across country, and you're talking multiple days off if they have a job.
Yeah.
Or family, obviously.
Yeah, and that's one of the things there is like, geez, like now I got to fly across country. A chunk of these rings, like you said, have been won in this region.
Absolutely.
So now it becomes even more, confusing and complicated for people to get out there.
I'm curious to know. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. How many East Coast people?
Keep going on the story. Keep going. I got to fix one thing. Keep going.
All right. I'm curious how many people are East Coast people versus West Coast people. I mean, there might be some in between that travel a lot for poker. But that being said, I just feel, like you said, with like we talked about with Jersey, PA, Michigan, we're talking East, Midwest here. It's not close to Vegas.
No.
Maybe if there's people out west with some of the live events or in the middle of the country live events, what have you, that's a little different. But
my camera's shaking in there a little bit. I was trying to keep it smooth. That's all right.
That's probably me.
That's all right. I'm trying to even it out there. But yeah, so I mean, like the thing about it too is I think one of the other problems is they actually advertised on the website that it was going to be in Las Vegas this year. They didn't say what day or time. So that was one of the things that people were like, whoa, you had it on the website saying it was going to be Las Vegas. Now you changed it. Now you put it right before the World Series. So now you got to make 2 trips if you're doing like, from here to there.
Agreed.
I think, WSP, you literally dropped the ball on it. And here's the thing. I don't understand. Okay, you want to attach to an event. You want to get some more people there. You knew this event was happening in LA for a good amount of time.
If they did this 2-3 months before, I'll give them a lot. Give them a lot more slack.
I think
this late,
yeah,
and changing and all the way across, I think it's tough.
Less than 60 days is unacceptable. I mean, 4 months, 5 months, that's way.
That's a big difference.
Way big. So, so that's what happened. Obviously, with the Tournament of Champions, everyone's complaining about it, and even pros. I saw a lot of pros even complaining about it for 2 reasons. One, obviously, they still have schedules and they have things they have to,
Absolutely.
But 2, they, a couple of people were like, this is going to keep a lot of wrecks out. And if you're a pro,
you want the wrecks.
You want the wrecks because you're going to build chips through those wrecks. Like they're your fish. They're your bait, man. Like,
That's right. Give me the crazy guy who went on a heater that won a ring. You want him at your table. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You want a softer spot than dealing with, 7 pros,
that are GTO wizards out there. Like,
Exactly.
But yeah, so, I mean, come on, WSP. You can do better. You can do better. Let's go. Get it together.